Quarantine with You, Part 2. I couldn't meet his eyes. When I saw him, I mumbled a quick greeting and scurried out of sight. I had a feeling that if I dared to look at him, I'd be caught under his intense gaze. That was the last thing that I wanted. I gave Liam his wrapped present and made for the couch, where everyone was chilling. It was only my close friends who were in attendance, and we had all made sure that we didn't have any symptoms before coming to his place. Anthony made his way over to the couch and sat beside me. I was instantly aware of his scent, the same scent I'd been trying to forget. We had a game night, playing many different board games. Much to my annoyance, I always ended up on a team with him. Then we had to play charades, which was my favorite game. I was forced to look at him this time and guess what movie he was trying to get us to guess. I knew as soon as he did the actions which movie it was, but I was silent because I was shy about speaking directly to him. He made me nervous. He caught my eye as he did that swimming motion and hummed a very familiar tune. I couldn't believe that none of the others could guess what the movie was. Finding Nemo, I finally said. He smiled and caught my eye when I said the correct one. Everyone groaned as they realized how it had just gone over their heads. We exchanged a look and I couldn't help smirking. We did a few more, and it was a competition between him and I at the end. I guess we were both good at guessing and loved movies too much, so we were the only two who usually got stuff correct. Everyone eventually surrendered and called us the kings of charades. I smiled at him shyly. He wasn't looking at me with hate as I had thought. Things had been awkward between us for a while, and I wouldn't blame him if he hated me. It was soon time to cut the cake. We sang for Liam and covered him in cake from head to toe. I was standing next to Anthony at the time, and the next thing that I knew, I felt something cold on my cheek. He had just put some cake on me. I rolled my eyes and pretended to keep my cool. Then I covered him with some cake on the nose. He smiled, showing his cute dimples. "Are we good?" I asked. "Yes, we are." He smiled as he squeezed my hand. I was so glad that we had managed to sort out the awkwardness between us with cake, as weird as that sounds. I also enjoyed holding his hand. I had gone so long without touching him, I kind of missed hugging him. The rest of the night was pretty pleasant. We didn't talk about the kiss when we got a chance to be alone. We just had our usual banter. Liam gave me a knowing look when he saw me and Anthony laughing at a joke Anthony had made. After we were filled with cake and a few beers, we made our way home. When I came, I wanted to make sure that I left after he had already left, but now things weren't so awkward. I was still buzzing from all the fun we had just had with our friends. It would take a while to come down from the high. It was nice to be in the same space once again. "I kinda wanna dance," he randomly said. "In the middle of the night? Why though?" I laughed a bit. "Because tonight was awesome," he suddenly shouted. I laughed and shushed him. A few people walking late at night turned to look at us, but I didn't care despite how alarmed I might have seemed. "I thought you were mad at me," I confessed. "Why would I? It's very difficult for me to get mad at you." "What you're going through is difficult. You shouldn't have to feel bad about that," he smiled. His words truly touched me. I didn't understand how someone could be so kind and understanding. I wished that I would just get my damn feelings figured out though. He was always on my mind. When I got home, I replayed everything that had happened that night, and I couldn't help but smiling. He made me happier than I'd been in a long time, with his strangeness and loudness that were a match to mine. I couldn't wait till I got to spend more time with him. So as a spur-of-the-moment thing, I sent him a message asking him if we could hang out the next day. I was a bit nervous as I waited for a response, but luckily he responded and said that he would love to. I went to sleep feeling happy for the first time in a long time. I didn't think of my ex that night. I had been haunted by him for the past 2 years. I allowed myself to imagine, even just for a second, being with a person who made me feel happy, even if it was just as friends. The next day, after work, I went to Anthony's place. It had been quite a while since I'd last been at his place, but I felt at home. We watched a couple of movies together while talking about our lives. The conversation never ran dry with him. There was always some crazy story from his childhood or something new that had captured his interest. "So, I wanted to ask you something, but I wasn't sure how you'd react. Like, can I cuddle you?" he said softly, looking down. I found it so cute that he was shy about asking me something so small. "Yes, of course, I wouldn't mind cuddling with you," I reassured him. And to be honest, I didn't. He was some stress reliever with the way that his hugs felt. It became a regular thing that we hung out when either of us had free time. I grew to trust him a great deal. I hadn't opened up to him before, but we soon found ourselves talking about our hopes and our fears. Speaking of fears, I have a massive fear of spiders. Even if I see a picture of one, I get really scared. One day, we were both doing our work while sitting together on the couch. Suddenly, I felt something crawl up my leg. I was ready to scream and get the hell out of there, but I didn't get a chance to do that. He suddenly brushed my leg and scooped me off the couch. He was pretty strong. I guess all that working out was paying off. "Are you okay? Do you need me to spray the house with that insect repellent?" he asked me. I forgot all about the spider because I was focused on the fact that he had just tried to protect me, in his own weird way. "First, please put me down. I'm fine. I just need a moment. I think you scared it away," I said. "I just don't want you to be scared or something," he said bashfully as he put me down. The spider was nowhere to be found, but I could still feel it on my leg. Despite my calmness, my heart was beating very fast, and I was shaking. "You're shaking," he said. "No, I'm not," I said as I tried to pretend. I suddenly kissed him on the cheek. It took me a moment to register what I had just done. "Oh, and thank you for saving me," I smiled. "No problem," he smiled. I was glad that he didn't question me further about the kiss. One thing about him was that he didn't hold on to things. It was happening slowly, but I was starting to really care for him on a deeper level. I couldn't believe that I had been spending nearly every day with him for months. It was only when Liam complained about us not visiting him ever since his birthday that I realized how time flew. The next day, it was a Sunday and everyone had an off day. I went to see him with Anthony. I saw him and Sandra exchange a look when we entered together. They couldn't be more subtle. Liam cornered me once he got me alone and interrogated me as if I was some high-risk criminal. "So, are you in a relationship with Anthony then?" he smiled suggestively. "No, we are not," I denied. "I've known you since we were 3, and I know when you're lying," he said. "Ugh, fine." "We kissed a few months ago," I whispered. He was close by, and I didn't want him to hear us speaking about him. "What? And I'm only hearing about this now?" His voice raised a bit, and Anthony turned to look at us. I sighed and dragged Liam to his room. If I stood there with him for one more second, Anthony would know that we're talking to each other. "It's not a big deal, it was months ago anyways. I'm sure he doesn't like me in that way," I said. "My friend, I love you, but you are so dumb sometimes," he rolled his eyes. "What?" I whined. "We all see the chemistry between you two. I noticed it after you two quarantined," he said. "You really think he likes me?" I asked. I was kind of hoping that he did though. I wasn't even thinking about my ex. I hadn't in weeks. All I could think about was how Anthony made me so happy. "I'm certain. Talk to him about it. I saw it when you two walked in together." "Ooh, I can't believe that finally you two are getting together," he smiled smugly. "Oh, shut up, Liam. We're not even dating yet," I blushed. "But I hoped that we would be soon dating." But how was I going to tell him though? No, I was a grown man, and there was no way I was going to act like a teenager who had a crush. But to be honest, it took me over a week to finally tell him how I felt. Every time I tried to say something, I stopped myself. It was pure torture. We decided to make a change to our routine, and we went for a walk instead. It was still light outside, but it would be dark soon. We teased each other as we walked. It was unlike us to spend a lot of time bickering or just being silly. I watched how his eyes lit up as I gave him a smart answer yet again. Are you okay?" he suddenly asked me. "Yes, why?" I smiled innocently. "You just seem really nervous today. You've been on edge all week," he said. "Oh, right, I'm fine," I giggled nervously. "Look, I hope that you are fine, but I want to know if I'm not imagining things here," he responded. "What's on your mind?" I asked him. "I know that you're still healing, and we promised to forget about the kiss, but I can't stop thinking about it. I'm sorry," he said. You have no idea how fast my heart was beating when he said that. The kiss and the many moments that we had shared together had been playing in my mind. Through those months, he had shown me his true self, and that helped me to be less scared of love. "Don't be sorry, Tony. I can't stop thinking about it either." I smiled sheepishly. "So you like me too?" he asked. "Very much." He smiled as he pulled me in for a hug. I liked how gentle he was with me, but I trusted him now and I knew he wouldn't hurt me. Well, at least I hope so. "It took a while, but I've grown to trust you, because you've shown me real kindness in the past few months," I said. "You shouldn't have to thank me for being kind to you. I merely respected that you needed time, and I was willing to wait," he said gently. "Thank you for waiting. You didn't have to, but you did. You could have moved on and found someone else." "Why didn't you?" I asked. "Because you make me feel things I've never felt before, and I thought it'd be worth waiting," he said. "If we didn't have to wear masks right now, I would kiss you," I declared. "As soon as we get to my place," he grinned. I couldn't remember the last time I felt so peaceful and content because of someone. I was buzzing with excitement and driving myself crazy over him. Who wouldn't? He was perfect. I didn't deserve someone like him. Soon we returned to his apartment. We went to his living room and sat on the couch for all of 2 seconds before we locked lips. He was soft and gentle with me, treating me as if I would break. I kissed him a little harder, and he returned the same pressure to me. I had missed his lips. It felt like coming home, that kiss. I was completely lost in it. After a while, he pulled away from me. We sat, looking into each other's eyes for a bit and not saying a word. There was not much that I had to say. I was just giddy over him. "We can take this slowly as you want to," he said. "I feel like we've been taking it slow for several months now. I want to fly," I said dramatically. He rolled his eyes and laughed. "Right. I'll take you to the clouds on our first date then," he smirked. "Oh, I didn't mean," I started. "I know. You want to make the most of the moment, and so do I. You're incredible, and I'm so lucky to be starting this with you," he smiled. "Also, you mentioned something about a date?" I asked. "Yes, will you go on a date with me?" he asked. Only if it's on clouds," I smirked. "You are so materialistic." "Oh dear, how am I going to achieve this?" he mock fainted. I laughed at his antics. It was never a dull moment with him. 2 days later. "Where are you taking me?" I asked. He had blindfolded me for a few minutes, and I had no idea where he was taking me. I was feeling excited about our date, and trying not to die out of curiosity, he finally took off my blindfold. It took a while for my eyes to adjust, but when they did, I saw that we were in a field, and there was green grass everywhere, and under the tree was a picnic basket and a blanket. I squealed with joy and kissed him on the cheek. "Thank you so much," I smiled. When he told me that he was taking me somewhere special for our date, I thought it would just be a lunch at a restaurant. But this was so much more intimate, and I loved it. "Don't thank me. Our friends helped to arrange this," he grinned. "Wait, you told them?" I asked. "You told Liam first. There's no secret with our friends," he chuckled. I nodded. That was very true. "Come on, let's eat. I'm so hungry," he said. "Oh, I thought that was an earthquake I just heard," I laughed. He chuckled, and we ate our food. Then we noticed that there were a few clouds in the sky, so we did something neither of us had done in years. We cloud watched. It was very fun, and I laughed at the absurd things that he saw in the clouds. I had so much fun on that day, and I thought it would never end. But alas, we had to go home. We couldn't watch the clouds forever. I felt very optimistic after our first date. I had been getting to know this guy for many months, and I was certain that I could trust him. When I got home, my phone was buzzing with all the messages that I got from the group chat. They were even giving us ship names and a hard time. I couldn't help but blushing a lot. Things kind of fell into place with us. There was never a declaration that we were together. We just were. I felt natural with him, and more at peace than I had for the past few months. And our friends were very supportive of us, especially Liam, who had been waiting for us to get together forever? I guess best friends do know better. Getting over a failed relationship is difficult, especially your first love, or even someone you've been with for years. You feel as if there can never be anyone else, yet you carry the hurt. But brighter days are always around the corner. My brighter day was right in front of me for an entire year before I even saw him. Heartbreak does not stop you from functioning. It cannot rip you off the chance of finding love. I never thought I would look at someone and feel so much love ever again. But I guess quarantine had other plans for me. The end. Thanks for watching. Consider subscribing to become a part of our Rainbow Force.